And what's going on, everyone? My name's Dom, and as you know, here's my good friend Joe.
Hello.
And so today we're going to be doing a topic on home entertainment. Last week we covered the PlayStation State of Play, and I think we both pretty much felt the same about that. I know that amongst the group it was pretty divisive. This week, Kyle and Sam are not here, but we will hopefully be able to hear from them soon. But before we get into today's topic, Joey's going to bring you the news.
Yes. So my first article is from The Verge by Tom Warren. You can follow him at Tom Warren if you are interested on Twitter. But this is about Halo Infinite being delayed until 2021.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this. This has been all over Twitter. What you got?
So the main reason they came out and said is because of COVID.
Okay.
And they're saying there's some other things as well, but they didn't go into much detail about it. But I'm just curious because how is it that this is getting delayed, but all these other games are coming out, kind of thing? And so I'm kind of just thinking, like, what really happened? Is it COVID really the thing, or is there something more to it?
Yeah, especially when you have a game like Cyberpunk's been delayed twice this year, and obviously we're both super excited waiting for that game. I don't know. It just seems with the story that came out about it running on a PC, of all the games to get delayed, why that one? Now, it could be because of COVID, it could be because of this, could be because of that, but that seems like when did the showcase come out? Like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I believe so.
2 weeks ago, they decided, you know what, we're ready enough to demo and announce that it's gonna be a launch title, and then 2 weeks later, it's gonna be delayed. That seems like something they would have known, or it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like 2 weeks ago, it's not like suddenly 2 weeks they were like, oh no, we're totally behind schedule.
Well, Phil Spencer, they mentioned in this article, I guess Phil Spencer said that this would possibly be a possibility.
Yeah.
That this could happen.
Then why show the game? Especially if it wasn't even running on an Xbox thing. I mean, I get it. It was running on a PC and an Xbox. They're similar enough, right? Whatever. Who cares? Mm-hmm. But if it wasn't even in a state where, because the PR looks bad, regardless of how you slice it, even if the game's going to look better on Xbox, whatever, the PR looks bad. It's just, they didn't even have it running on the console it's supposed to be running on. So it's, why even show it then?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly think, that was their only big game that they showed.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. What else were they, if they didn't have that, what else would there be?
You know what, then why even do a show, I guess, at that point? I mean, I guess you got to do something, but, I mean, then show more of the console. Where's the UI? When the PlayStation 4 got announced, even when Xbox got announced, they showed the UI. Mm-hmm. People are dying to see the UI. Like, okay, fine. You want to show the price because you guys are playing your stupid game of who's going to flinch first on the price and the release date. All right, fine, I get that. Where's the UI? Where is... I don't know, all the other things that these freaking consoles are going to be able to do.
Yeah.
The whole thing's driving me nuts. And now, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I'm seeing people on Twitter and everything like that saying Xbox is done if they don't launch with Halo.
Well, I actually said that to you today. We talked about it.
That's right.
And I said that, yeah, Xbox is screwed.
Yeah.
There is no coming back from this.
Yeah. I don't think there is. I don't think there's any way.
The only thing they can do is like what you said to me earlier is, unless they release their console earlier and before PlayStation and release Cyberpunk at the same time.
Yeah, you would have to snag Cyberpunk because.
But at the same time, that wouldn't really make a difference because it's not an exclusive.
It's not an exclusive, but if Xbox launches first, let's say a week, right? Just like so, PlayStation 4 launched a week before Xbox in this last gen. So. If Microsoft were to launch first and Cyberpunk were to be available when that console launches, I can see a lot of the people who are kind of in between which one they want to get just going that route because they want to be able to play Cyberpunk as soon as possible, especially with 2 delays. I mean, that game was supposed to come out before The Last of Us. So you had 3 major delays this year. There were 3 major games. Final Fantasy VII Remake, which we talk about all the time, Last of Us Part 2, and then Cyberpunk. So everyone is on this like delay kind of hangover thing where, you know what I'm saying? Like people just are excited. We got to play those games and they were great and they were fun, whatever, right? Now it's like, but that was like the big one. You know, that pseudo Grand Theft Auto sized kind of experience. It's a big game. Mm-hmm. So like I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I could totally see if I could only pick one console, whichever console had that game first, even if it was a week. I don't know if I could wait a week, man. I don't know if you ever scroll through YouTube and let's say you're into a TV show or something. I watch a lot of anime and stuff, and so there's like the manga, and then which is like the comic book part, and then there's the actual show. The problem is if you don't read the stupid manga, people post spoilers to some of your favorite shows. So you're keeping up with show A, and then you will now see, in like, in 2 years, you're going to find out about this. And it's like, thanks for spoiling literally like a few years of me watching like a couple seasons. And it happens all the time. So the last thing I want to see is any kind of spoiler for that game.
My biggest thing is, and this was when Xbox One came out, right?
Yeah.
My biggest thing was which one has better graphics, and I asked you that, and you said, and you did, and you even brought it to my attention from articles that Xbox had better the graphics at the time.
Yes, in terms of raw numbers on paper, technically it would.
Right.
Technically.
Right. My thing is, if I'm gonna want Cyberpunk, and I know it's only let's say a week, wouldn't you want to have the system that best runs? And I don't know,
That's tough.
If you're going to play something like that, and I get it, you don't want spoilers.
Do I want to play it in the best experience possible?
Yeah.
So when Final Fantasy 15 got released, that I made a big deal out of that. I got the PS4 Pro. I got a 4K TV.
You took off work.
I literally took off work. I took off 3 days of work. It ended up being... I don't want to get into that, but... not what I expected, but at that time I had that expectation. But I think with this game... I don't know. Not if it was like 3 days difference in a launch date. Yeah, I'd probably go with whatever console had the better graphics. Like just bar none. Even if let's say Xbox launches first and it's going to look or play better on that one. Yeah, that'd probably be the route I would go. But if it was whatever, console A launches first and then console B, and console B is like 3 days from then, it's going to have a better experience. Yeah, I would just kind of dip off YouTube, I guess. Try to ignore spoilers the best I can, and wait. I could also just be totally spoiled and just get both on both consoles and just do something ridiculous. I mean, I bought Battlefield 4 for every single console, including PC.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's different because you want to play online with your. I don't know.
Well, you did it for Grand Theft Auto too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then the other thing too about Cyberpunk is,
fair point.
If you did do that route, at least you can choose your play styles. You could play one way on one machine and another way on another one.
That is true. And you know what? If I did get it for both, Aaron wants to play that game really bad. One of the reasons I actually picked up the Xbox One X was because at the time, because I picked one up earlier this year, a few months ago. So earlier this year, I found that, the game was supposed to be launched earlier this year along with the consoles. I got it, I'm like, okay, let me play it with the best experience possible, and the One X is the better experience. And then... they delayed it, and it's like, oh, well, I'm way past the return policy. It's a cool console, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, look, I don't want to dig too much in this. Obviously, this is still a developing story, but I think you and I are on the same page. This is probably not the best situation for Microsoft and the Xbox right now. So, with all that said, what else you got? I know. I think you said you want one more story for me.
I actually have two more.
Oh, yeah, two more?
Yeah. So this is from Carrie, and I don't want to say her last name. I'm going to butcher, so I'll say Carrie M. This was actually published today, and this is about how Apple is going to bundle subscriptions, and it's going to be called Apple One.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is that they're going to bundle Apple TV Plus, music, arcade, and there's more to be bundled. And there is no price on this yet. My theory is it might be about, depending on what your subscription is. So for you, example, you pay $9.99 because you don't have the family and people that have family.
Yeah, I said Apple Music.
Yeah. I would say it's probably going to round up between $20 and $25 a month. I would say.
So that's Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, and the arcade.
Correct.
So you had the arcade. That's like $4.99, right?
Correct.
Okay. And I think we both have free subscriptions to Apple TV Plus because they're just giving away with every Apple device. I think that's $9.99 though, right?
I believe so. Actually, let me see here.
Yeah. So let me think about that. Okay. So they haven't announced a price yet. My guess would be they're probably going to do 20 because you have to get a deal somewhere. Otherwise, you're just paying more you know what I'm saying? You're paying the exact same amount as you would have paid if you just gotten the services separately. So where's like the bundle deal? That's number one. But number two is, where's the incentive? Because if all I care about is Apple Music, right now I'm paying $10. So if I'm paying $10 for just Apple Music, but you're going to also include movies and everything else that I'm not necessarily interested in, then there better be a good price incentive. Otherwise, I'm paying more for stuff I'm not going to use.
Yeah. Well, the Apple TV Plus is actually $4.99, believe it or not.
Oh. So it could be $15.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, that is actually a decent deal if you think about it. Because in essence,
I didn't realize how cheap it was for Apple TV.
I didn't realize either because they just give them away. I mean, when they first announced it, people were saying...
and now that I see that price, I'm like, oh yeah, that is. That's right.
Yeah, I can see. I could even see possibly $12.99.
Right, and they're cheaper than Hulu. That's cheaper than Netflix.
That's a really good price, and
that's cheaper than Disney Plus.
Yeah, and even if you were to just use your existing services, I guess that's fine if it goes up $3 and you get a little bit more, and maybe you occasionally will watch a show. I guess that's more value than you had, but
And they are still doing that promotion, by the way. Buying Apple products and you get a free Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the thing when Apple TV Plus got announced.
But they're still doing it now. I'm saying I just saw the. If you go to apple.com and you click on this Apple TV Plus, and it says right on top, get 1 year of Apple TV Plus free when you buy an Apple device.
See, okay, so that was kind of the thing that I kept hearing people talking about when they first announced Apple TV Plus, which is like, okay, it comes free with your phone, and a lot of people not as often as they used to, but a lot of people buy a new phone every year, so it's basically like perpetual Apple TV Plus. Now, I know you've watched a lot more of the Apple TV Plus content than I have. I know you talked about C. I know Sam talked about C. That show how's SEE?
Yeah.
Not like the ocean.
Right.
It's a bunch of blind people and some chick.
Yeah. The quick overview of the thing, and I promise it won't spoil anything. It says everyone's blind in this program. Jason Momoa is in it. The guy, and just in case people don't realize the name, he's the one that plays Aquaman.
That might be why I'm thinking sea in the sense of swimming and not like sight. I can't get that out of my head every time I hear that show. I think water.
So everyone's blind, but there's babies that are born, and I'm trying to remember if this is going to ruin anything. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it like that because I can't remember. I can't remember if that is part if it is part of the description or not, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So,
well, I mean, at the end of that, you said you enjoyed the show, right?
Yeah, it's a great.
Okay.
It's a refreshing show because it's different.
Is it? But okay, is there anything else outside of that one show?
I haven't seen anything else.
Okay, I know.
There is this is it on Apple TV only? I believe so. Tom Hanks came out with his own show.
On Apple, okay.
I believe so. That is actually called give me 1 second. And it actually, I saw the trailer for it, and it looks phenomenal. And it actually, there's been great reviews on it, and it's called Greyhound. And
Greyhound,
so I know people won't be able to. People that are listening to us, but that can't see. I apologize, but I was just trying to see if I can get here it is, official trailer.
Why don't we throw the link in the description for anyone who wants it? Because otherwise it's
okay. That's true.
Just in case you're listening in the car or something like that, it's just like, here's. I just don't want to,
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
If you guys are interested, definitely check out the YouTube. We've been getting our clips up. Finally, we're finally getting our act together, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
We're getting episodes up online.
Hey, I want to give a big shout out to your girlfriend Erin.
Yeah.
Big shout out to you.
Thanks.
Dom, people that are watching or listening, Dom and Erin have put over 100 hours of a day basically. So they're working their normal jobs and then working on this every day, putting up clips. So huge thank you to them. And I just come for the podcast. So I don't do much.
Well,
no, it's a big shout out. But no, I just wanted to say it's a big shout out to them. They work very hard, and yeah, it's a great work, by the way.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's, you know what, it's been a lot of fun. I think the show's going great. I mean, this is 7, and you think about it, that's next week is 2 months.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like by episode 50, it's going to be, a year basically. So that's just kind of crazy when you think about it. It feels like no time has flown by, but look at all the stuff we've done in these few weeks.
7 weeks feels like this podcast feels like it's flown by.
It feels like episode 2, right?
Yeah,
it feels like episode 2. I can't imagine what Joe Rogan feels like. He's at episode 1580 something. Can you imagine? I mean, even if you're doing 3 a week, that's crazy. But okay. All that being said, we got a big topic today. So
one more story though.
Oh, you got one more story. That's
one
right.
More.
What you got?
So, sorry for getting off topic, guys. One more story here is by Kyle M. This is about Russia. They have come up with their first what is this called? Unmanned combat aerial vehicle.
I remember Sam talking about this one.
They first saw it back in January of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's not expected to be fully a go until 2024.
That's interesting. Wait, how fast is the thing?
So the speed on this is actually it goes up to where does it go? I had this 620 miles per hour.
620.
And it can go as far as 3,240 nautical miles.
Nautical miles too. What is that normal miles? I don't know nautical miles.
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Where's a pilot? Okay, so let's assume. Okay, we'll just say just for.
But this is not the only press. That's not the only press. You know, guess how much this thing is designed to carry up to?
What in weight? How much?
13,200 pounds.
Wait, so we can do 3,000 miles of travel with 13,000 pounds of payload and weapons?
Of munitions, including air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles.
Oh, my. So, the interesting, obviously, the first thing is...
In an internal weapons bay. Sorry.
So, what I find the most fascinating about that is we're still trying to figure out how to make cars drive themselves. Yet, now we can get planes. And there's 3 dimensions, right? So, you don't have to follow lanes.
Yeah.
But dealing with 3 dimensions is way hard, especially at that speed, is way harder than dealing with, there's a stop sign and a kid.
And you know how heavy this thing is.
Oh, and then you have to manage weight. You have to manage fuel. You have to manage, and I mean, again, and if that thing messes up, it's going to blow up and cause a bunch of problems. So,
yeah.
You know what the scary part is? Like, technically speaking, given enough time and resources, a country could make as many of those things as they wanted. And they could just keep sending them. Once it's unmanned, you don't have to worry about training.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about people coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
But this thing, I can't believe how heavy this thing is. It's tipping the scales at 20 tons.
20 tons?
20 tons.
And it's airborne. How big is it? Is it this? Is it like it's a fighter jet, right?
It's yeah. I mean, pretty much. Here's it looks like one of those stealth planes.
Okay.
So there's that picture, and then here's another one here.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll see if I can get a screen cap on. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll see if I can get a screen cap on during editing to try to show you. Wow, that's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, we don't have something. We are developing. It's called a loyal wingman.
Mm-hmm.
So what that is that it operates alongside crewed fighters. Fighters. So it's interesting. I know. I got in a conversation. My cousin serves in the army, and we talked about this. And we talked about it actually a couple years ago. And this was back. Russia was saying, I forgot what they came up with. They came up with something. I forgot what it was. But we got in the conversation about what America's done, and he goes, there's really nothing to worry about. What we've come out. I mean, sorry, I'm jumping all over here, but to go off of what I'm saying, that we're coming up with that loyal wingman semi-disposable drone, and the Navy is pursuing the MQ-25A Stingray carrier-based unmanned tanker.
Mm-hmm. So
they have an unmanned plane. We're gonna have an unmanned tanker. But we have, what he was saying is the public doesn't know what the military really has in the U.S. And I believe the U.S. actually keeps it a secret for a reason. They don't want the enemies to know.
Yeah, I've heard about a lot of the defensive systems that we have in place. Yeah. They can't test them,
right?
Because if you test them, they might be seen, and then it's like, well, now you can get a, so. It,
but wow. He goes, we have. Speaking with Sam, outside about this, he was telling me, and I forgot, I don't know what it's called, but he said we do have a weapon that shoots out, like so many missiles per second.
Yeah.
So you can have it track whatever you want. So something like that comes out, that thing's gonna track it, and it's gonna just shoot a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. My only concern would be is if they were to send like, I mean, that would be ridiculous, and we'd probably catch on. But if they sent like thousands and thousands and thousands of them, then if you don't need soldiers, it's just copy paste.
Yeah, but if you send thousands, it's not very stealthy, right? This is a stealth.
This is true.
This is supposed to be a stealth jet.
This is true.
Now, we have our own stealth jet. It's not unmanned.
Right.
But we do have one of those jets. If I'm not mistaken, if I am wrong, guys, I am sorry for anyone that might know this. I'm pretty sure I've heard this, though. We have a stealth jet that can't be picked up.
Yeah.
On radar.
The stealth technology is quite phenomenal.
So, and we also, our drones, even though our drones are small, those drones are so effective. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're no joke.
No, I've seen these
careful.
things. I've seen on YouTube. They have videos on this, and you can actually see how these things work. Mm-hmm. Oh, these things can blow up
anything.
I couldn't believe this drone. It's not little, but it's still not as big as that, right?
Relative to
and the damage that it does, it's crazy. I'll tell you what. The next, if I'm glad that don't get me wrong, I'm not like a person that's like, yeah, war. But I'm glad we're coming up with ways to keep the men and women safe.
Yeah.
And having other things to do than sending men and women right off in the battlefield and God forbid something happens,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're coming up with ways to keep them safe.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, there's so many.
I know we could go forever.
There's so many ways, but I mean, a nice way to segue into protecting our homes.
Yes,
because while this may seem like a more basic subject, I think there is a lot to delve into here when it comes to home entertainment centers. So it's funny. Earlier in the week, I brought this idea up to the rest of the guys, and they thought I was talking about IKEA furniture and the furniture. So for home entertainment centers, obviously you need furniture to house all your electronics, and they were thinking, oh, he's talking about Dom's talking about the furniture. I was like, no, we could talk about the furniture too, because I think that's important, but the electronics, as this is a tech show, it's kind of the thing.
I thought maybe you wanted to do a furniture show for 1 week.
As if we were in April, that would be funny, right? It's a home entertainment. No, we're just doing furniture. April Fools.
You want to talk about vacuums next too?
Hey, they're electronic.
I know.
Hey, you know what? There's some pretty... Okay.
We're getting off topic.
Okay. So, home entertainment stuff. So, I'm going to start you off because I know... So, you've had your Vizio television now for like 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then... Okay. Tell me about it, because I have never owned Vizio. I've always been a Samsung guy. What you got? We'll kind of see what happens where this topic goes.
Yeah. No. I mean, did you want me to talk about what I went through, why I got it and all that?
Yeah, just kind of go to the beginning. Why pick Vizio? What was what good things have it done? What's the annoying things, like a pseudo review? And
okay, yeah. So my dad bought me a Vizio TV back in, I would say 07.
Okay.
Maybe 06 actually. It lasted me.
I think it was 07 because I think they. Not to interrupt. I think the company started in 07.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. I think. Oh, keep going. Let me see if I can.
No, it's fine. I'm curious. When did they come out?
Let's see. They started in. Oh, the company was founded in 2002 as V Incorporated by a Taiwanese American entrepreneur. So it was actually 2002. But there's nothing specific about when they launched in the United States. So it could have easily been 2016.
You mean 2006?
I'm sorry, 2006. Jesus, it's amazing to think how long ago that was.
Right?
Oh, it feels like just yesterday sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah. So my dad bought about that. 06, 07.
Mm-hmm.
that thing was a great TV. It was a 42-inch TV at the time. Great TV. It lasted me till 2015. No problems.
Nice.
No problems at all. Then I saw this 50-inch TV, and it was like below. It was below $700. It was a Vizio, 4K. It was a SmartCast as well. So I go and get it, and the reason I did it is because I figured, you know what, Samsung at that part of 4K when 4K was coming out was so expensive.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And I'm just like, yeah, no, I'll do the Vizio. I know how they are, and I know they're a good product. I got it. I still have it now. It's a 50-inch or 55-inch, and still haven't had any issues. In fact, I bought the TV not knowing that it didn't have HDR at the time, and now it has a software upgrade and has HDR10.
Yeah, see, you had explained that one to me, and that kind of boggled my mind, because I know when we did the Samsung episode, I did a little bit on how companies should be providing, like if the hardware can handle it, and all you gotta do is upgrade the software, company should be upgrading the software, right? So, one of the things I would love to do, because I mean HDR is HDR, right? Obviously now HDR in terms of like it's how good it is, I guess, would be, because I mean, like you're never gonna have as good HDR as you would get out of an OLED TV, right? Because of the way the technology works,
right?
But I would love to take, I can't remember what they're called, but it's effectively a device that can analyze the output of a screen. The biggest thing I want to see is what the brightness peak is on that screen in terms of like lumens. That's how they measure like HDR performance and stuff. And there's a bunch of minimum.
It'll probably be low.
Yeah, I mean if it hits,
because it didn't come with it, so it's going to be low. And like your TV, it's going to be high because yours came with it.
Yeah, it's not even that high, relatively speaking. It's like I think mine's. What is mine? I don't even know what mine
yours
is.
Will probably, let's put it this way: yours is going to be definitely higher than mine.
Well, yeah, I mean, mine's QLED though, so it fits in a completely different metric. I mean, mine's from 2019, so it's going to be, it was designed with it in mind,
right?
But I'm just curious to see like if Vizio is able to pull it off, and let's say in order for something to be HDR, and I can't remember what it is, so nobody quote me here, but let's say the standard for HDR is you need to be 800 nits, so 800 nits peak brightness, right? That's the highest that the screen can go in a moment's notice as far as brightness goes. So let's say that they launched the Vizio TV with the capability of it being 600 nits peak brightness, and they were able to push an update that will tell devices, hey, I'm HDR capable. But now my question is, okay, so the devices see HDR, and let's say the hardware can even handle the HDR input signal and say, okay, I know what to do. I know how to change my brightness on each frame, blah, 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 or for the whole scene, whatever it is. But were they able to also change the like power outputs? Like, were they able, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to what extent did that software upgrade improve your television's performance? Because if it was not only peak, but it was not only like just saying to the connected devices, oh yeah, this is now HDR10, blah blah blah. But if it was also they physically made the TV brighter, and they didn't plan for that. That's impressive, and I want to know how the hell they did that, because I want other manufacturers to start doing stuff like that. One of the things I would love to see is, I know that Samsung's in this big battle right now with they want to use the standard, like the HDR10 standards, like an open standard that anybody can use, and then they have HDR10 Plus, which is still open, but like they own it or something weird like that. And then you have Dolby Vision, which is, I mean, between Dolby Atmos and Dolby Surround and Dolby, right, all that stuff. That's their proprietary HDR thing, and the Xbox supports that particular HDR standard, and it annoys me that Samsung's never going to support it, because you know me, I love to have every checkbox marked off as a feature set, and if you say one thing about the screens in my car, I swear, for those who are not familiar, I am kind of a prude, and I'm a Beamer guy. I have a Beamer. And there's a version of my car, and we talked about this in a previous episode. What? Yeah. You laugh. What is that? What does a particular version of my car have, Joey?
You have the capabilities of having screens in the back.
Oh no. Yes, but now mine didn't come with that. So Joey continuously harasses me because he knows it bothers me, because I love to have every single thing checked off in my feature list. And so not having Dolby Vision drives me crazy. Every single time I do the color calibration test, for those who don't know, again, you can use your Xbox. You can do color calibration on your TV. Recommend you do if you have an Xbox One, by the way. You will get way better picture and way better performance out of your screen doing that. But we can talk about that later. That's not super important.
But your BMW is.
My BMW is very important. But every single time I do the stupid test, it always says you have 4K and 4K HDR, and you have everything, even Dolby Atmos. It's my soundbar, but you don't have Dolby Vision. And I see that little red X on the list, and I hate you. That's that because I think about it now, and I'm like, anything I buy, anything I do, Joe's just going to complain about it. Because if I'm missing one feature, don't you dare. I know what you're going to say. You're going to talk about my soundbar.
That soundbar is already outdated.
So,
and you just bought it.
I did just buy that. So
and I remember how excited you were. And then like 2 weeks later,
it was 2 months later. Samsung released a newer version, and you have to admit, all things considered,
your subwoofer's dead.
The subwoofer is not dead. I actually managed to fix that the other day. Thank you very much.
You bought a new thing and you had to fix it.
I didn't buy a new thing. It was literally like some weird wireless thing. I had to basically go through.
No, I'm saying you bought a new sound bar and you already had to fix it 2 months in.
No, all I had to do is reset the settings.
I didn't have to do that with my Vizio soundbar.
Because your Vizio soundbar isn't nearly as complex.
You're absolutely right, but it still works.
Okay, guess what?
I didn't have any issues. And they still sell it.
So what Joey is referring to in this one is I bought a Samsung, what is that thing? A Q90R soundbar. Now at the time, I had so before this TV that I have now, so I got this I don't even know, was it 82-inch QLED? I think is what this guy is now. Yeah. So this 82-inch QLED, it's a 6 series, whatever you want to call it. I think that they have 6, 7, 8, and 9s for that particular year. Yeah. And that's always been kind of their thing. So before that, I had a curved TV, 65-inch curved, that I bought in 2014.
Big flex.
It was it's funny because flex and curved, it all fits in the same universe, right? And that TV was fine. But I ended up upgrading it, and I got a soundbar with it. I actually got a great deal on the soundbar, if you remember. That soundbar was like a $900 soundbar, and I got it for like $150 Best Buy, brand new, because it was like the last one they had. They couldn't get rid of it, whatever, right?
Because the new one was about to come out.
Exactly, because the new one was about to come out. But guess what? I got a great freaking deal on that thing, and it was awesome. But when I ended up getting this new one, there was a bunch of features that my TV couldn't take advantage of because the soundbar was just too old. And I mean, you know me, I like sound. You're looking at me like I'm crazy, but you I'll give you a chance to reset your clocks there.
Ladies and gentlemen, he bought a soundbar that was too old for his TV.
No, it was perfectly adequate for the TV I had before. And then when I got a new TV,
it was too old already.
Oh my God. Anyway, so I got this
2 months later. You could have had a brand new one, and it would probably work perfectly with your TV.
Actually, I would need to upgrade my TV for it to work perfectly with my TV.
See, you just buy old stuff, don't you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You buy outdated things.
I have no words. So I apologize for any lengthy silences because Joey just finds a way to really just make me speechless for moments there. But so I picked up the Q90R soundbar mainly because I didn't want to hear him complain about the fact that it wasn't the top of the line. Because initially I wanted to get the Q70 because it was like, okay, this is good enough. And then it's like, wait, no, it doesn't support this. All right, let me get the Q80. It's just a little bit more. Oh, it doesn't support this. All right, let me get the Q90. And next thing I know, I have the soundbar. And then 2 months later, of course, Samsung releases a new one with 9.1, 0.2, 0.7, 0.8, 0.3 surround sound, and all this other stuff. I don't care.
Yours doesn't do that.
Just no, mine does 7.1.4.
Just like your car doesn't have screens in the back.
You can complain about my car, you can complain about my soundbar, but guess what? They all work wonderfully, don't they?
Not really. The subwoofer had issues. I was over here the last time.
I had some connections issue with I had some connection issues between the soundbar.
Let's move on because I think people don't want to listen to your outdated stuff.
Ouch. That was mean. That was mean. So okay, fine. What soundbar do you have, Joe? I know you have a little bit of a surround sound.
I do.
Yeah, what you got?
It's not that great, but it works. I haven't had any issues. Didn't have to do any kind of resets or anything to it.
No, it's just that simple. Doesn't have any elegant software.
I mean, here's the problem. I will say this though. I will say this. There has been, well, it's been doing now, where the sound goes in and then it'll go out. Like it'll just stop for maybe 5 seconds and then it comes back. The sound comes back. And it does do that.
Yeah.
So sorry,
he just cracked his knuckles for anyone.
So it has been doing that. So it could be a connection issue. I don't know. I mean, is it annoying? Yeah, sometimes it is, but it is what it is. It was only, how much was that soundbar? I think it was like only $100 and something.
Oh, I mean, that's not too bad.
No,
that's not too bad.
Because it came with the subwoofers and it came with the 2 speakers.
Yeah,
and then the soundbar itself.
Do you still have that connection issue with the PlayStation and the TV?
No. So I figured out what that was.
Oh, what was it?
It was Apple TV. For some reason, my TV has an issue just with the PlayStation. Xbox, you can, if the Apple TV's on, PlayStation won't stay on. Well, the video won't.
That's HDMI CEC. So the Apple TV tries to take control. Well, the PlayStation tries to take control back.
Yeah. So I figured that out.
You know what? I used to have that issue too. I wonder if that's what it is.
Then once I turned off I'm like, what happens if I turn off the Apple TV and see? Sure enough, that's what it was.
It just stopped happening.
Yep. So I have to, when I want to play PlayStation, I have to make sure that the Apple TV is in rest mode.
Yeah.
But with Xbox, it doesn't do it.
Right, because the Xbox doesn't have HDMI CEC, which is something I've complained about before. But okay. Wow, that's interesting how little stuff like that happens, and it's always just a tiny little solution. I mean, we were trying. I remember I was giving Joey like high-end cables, thinking it could be a connection issue, numerous other things, and it just ends up being something as simple as another freaking device.
And I'm so glad I didn't go through with what YouTube was showing me about taking part.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I say. Remember when I had the subwoofer issue? It's amazing how often it's just a tiny little problem. It's rarely ever a big issue that creates that requires expensive repairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wow. Yeah. No, I'm really glad. So, let's see. So you got Apple TV. I know you got the consoles. Okay, you tell me about the furniture that you have, because I know that we mentioned furniture before, and we were going to bring furniture into this somehow. So let's find a way to make furniture entertaining, right?
Well, my fiance Kelly loves barn stuff, so we have that barn entertainment center where this door slide, and it has a built-in electric fireplace in it as well. It's a great piece. Plenty of storage, and it looks good. It's wood. So,
I mean, the nice simple. And what I like about your system, what I like about the barn door thing, and I think Sam got the same one. You get to hide stuff. And I always like. I always like entertainment centers that are able to allow you to decide what is visible and what is not. I mean, I know that I've gotten into the habit in the past where, there's 1.5 million wires all over the place. There's, equipment and stuff. The only thing that I would say, because wait a second, yours has like the fireplace in the center, right?
Correct.
And then the 2 things on the side.
Correct.
And then what are in the 2 things on the side? Is it just movies and stuff?
Oh,
the 2 cabinets?
So in the 2 cabinets, I have there's the left cabinet has some PlayStation like controllers in there and a bunch of other junk. And then the right one has Xbox stuff, some games, and my X5/Xbox Series X or S or X. Jeez. Xbox Series X console in there.
Oh, wait, you did put your consoles in the
no, I'm joking, Mike, because my X5 router looks like the Xbox Series.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's funny.
No, so my router's in there, and then controllers and stuff like that in there. So that's really mostly in games in the right one for Xbox, and the left one has PlayStation games.
Okay. I mean, hey, fair enough. So one of the things, and I don't know, maybe you probably have this issue too, or maybe this is just me. Do you have a lot of problems with dust?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what it is about entertainment centers and dust.
I also have 2 cats, a dog. That's pretty hard.
Yeah, but you know what? At one point, it was just me and my cat and my one cat.
Well, you shed a lot,
and there was dust. It's not mine. I'm telling you, it's not mine. I don't know where it came. I don't know where it came from.
You know, dust just comes up out of nowhere. Honestly.
Yeah.
And honestly, you want to hear something really disgusting?
Okay, maybe.
You would be surprised how much that dust is from you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's disgusting to find out. Yeah. How much of it is just from people?
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I learned that, you know, our skin flakes, or whatever the case is, it goes all over the place, and that causes dust. I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. You know, so yeah, dust is just annoying, honestly. It's just really annoying.
You know what? I wish my mom told me a secret. Apparently, you could take like a dryer sheet and you could apply it to all the stuff, like all the things that get dusty, and that will apparently repel the dust. I've never had any success with it. So I guess the way dryer sheets work is they're like electrically charged and stuff like that. You could, if you rub the dryer sheets on your equipment, it will like repel the dust.
Microfiber cloth.
The microfiber. See, I've tried I use microfiber cloths all the time on the dust, and it never takes care of it.
If you wipe it, if you're just setting it there to make the dust not go there, yeah, that's not gonna do it. But if you wipe it, it actually works.
Yeah.
But the best thing is that what is that, Swifter? Dust thing.
Swiffer dust thing, yeah. Those I use. Oh yeah, those
things are.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Oh yeah, they'll pull all the dust off. I just wish there was a way to prevent the stupid dust, because even if I have air filters going,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
There's no way.
Yeah, I just, and now, because at one point I kept my game consoles in. So I got this big old monster here. For people who aren't seeing it, I don't know if maybe I can throw B-roll or something on it later.
Thing is, I like your entertainment center. I really do. Even though it's from Ikea, honestly, it looks still high end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like, oh yeah, that's from Ikea. No, it looks really nice. It blends in with the room. It blends in with your TV, and it blends in with the stuff that you have. Now, as some of you may know, I am colorblind, so him having black makes things a lot happier for me. So
yeah, it's So I don't know if I'll be able to show it. If I can't, I'm trying to remember which one this is. I think this is the Besta, the BESTA system at Ikea. It's like modular, and
was like what, $350?
That was a little more than that. I think it was like $550.
Oh, was it $550? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, when you consider how much storage it has.
Oh yeah. No, it's still worth the money. I mean, a lot of things. If you go to any other furniture place and buy something like this, you're gonna spend more.
Oh yeah, and the thing of it is, it's annoying because with a TV that's that size, it's not just any entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Not any piece of furniture can sit around it. Like, it's got to be big, and that was like.
What's that furniture store that's going out of business? Is that Vanity Fair?
Art
Fam.
Yeah. They're still going out of business, by the way.
They've
been going out of business for months.
Between, what is it, 50 and 90% off of things. So if you guys want, get in there, see what they have as well.
Yeah. Oh, you know what though? So when I looked at we went in there to go look for furniture because we even got this guy.
They're so expensive.
It's super expensive, even with the discount. And after a certain point, it's like I like nice furniture. When it comes to an entertainment center, what I found the most amazing thing is, okay.
So you have to worry. Then you'll be worried about scratching it. You have to worry about this, that, and the other.
I constantly worry about my coffee table. Like I have this table that we're recording on is from IKEA. I've had this table now for like almost 7 years, I think.
Oh, this thing's been through a lot.
This thing has been through a lot.
But what's nice about IKEA furniture, you get dust up, it looks brand new.
Yeah, it lasts.
It's like, okay, cool. I mean, if I had that coffee table, I'd be paranoid too.
Yeah, it's obnoxious. Like I got that one from Z Gallery, and obviously there's stuff all over it. We keep all the audio recording equipment on it now because we're having to do this in a my freaking apartment. Yeah, no, you know what? And what's nice about the just doing it with IKEA, it's like just that kind of peace of mind that you don't have to worry about the scratches, you don't have to worry about anything like that. You just kind of throw it together, and this stuff lasts. Like at one point, I remember I was running a saltwater fish tank, like 20-gallon one, on top of a piece of IKEA furniture.
The only bad thing about IKEA is not meant to move. It's meant to just sit there and that's it.
There's a few pieces you can move multiple times, but it's seldom.
Yeah.
But most of the time, once it's built, that's kind of it.
So if you guys are thinking about doing IKEA furniture, just keep that in mind. A lot of IKEA furniture is not meant to really move.
Yeah.
So if you are planning on moving anytime soon, I would get maybe like a smaller entertainment center for right now. If you are permanent where you're going to be at, then by all means, I then go all out however you want.
And what's nice about what I loved about the IKEA stuff, and I know you helped me out with this a little bit. So before I went ahead and upgraded this guy, I was keeping the game consoles inside of the cabinets of a very similar piece of furniture from IKEA. And when I did that, obviously the consoles are pumping out crazy heat. I talk about the PS4, and it's crazy. It's crazy fans all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so what was happening is the consoles were overheating. I was having a bunch of problems with them. So because the furniture was so cheap, I was just able to kind of cut out some windows. And I found these products online. You've seen them. They're effectively entertainment center fans. So they're just USB powered. They have a controller. I'm trying to remember what they were called.
Was it on Amazon?
Yeah, I found them on Amazon. Actually, you know what? They were really well priced. Hold on, let's see.
They were what, like 20-something bucks a piece?
The ones I got with the controller, so with the fan, which is one of the larger fans.
And don't forget about that module that you also have that tells you the temperature.
And tells you the temperature with a thermal probe. It was $50 per piece. But each module can hold up to 6 fans. And you can flip the fan. So AC Infinity. I will hopefully be able to put links in the descriptions.
It's definitely not cheaply made. I've held them myself. Dom's held them. Those things are built great.
And they work, and they're quiet. That was one of the wonderful things. So, like, I think one of the things I find the most fascinating about the entertainment center stuff is like all the little stuff. As soon as I started looking into this with the cooling thing of cooling internal units, because I mean, when you get into like really hardcore, home entertainment stuff, I can totally see how you want everything in a cabinet, especially if it has fans that run loud. If you have a media server, if you have whatever, very expensive amplifiers and other equipment like that to run a home theater setup. When you get into the more like advanced, super large stuff, right?
Like what we saw at ABT.
Yeah, like what you see. Yeah, exactly. Like what you see at Best Buy, those rooms with, like probably, $50,000, $60,000.
Mongolia TVs.
Yeah, exactly. Ridiculous stuff, right? This kind of stuff, it's almost like, it's like one of those things, like it's like when you get into fishing, you start to see like all the little knickknacks and stuff that you just never knew about until you get into it. So yeah, these fans, these AC Infinity guys, you can get. They have them in a variety of configurations. You can get small fans, big fans. You can get dual fan setups. You can get these thermal controllers. You can get like multi area, like multi zone thermal controllers. So rather than have a set of fans per thermal controller, you can have one thermal controller that will give you the temperature, and you can set up rules too.
If you have time, Dom, for our viewers that can watch us on YouTube or has the opportunity to watch us or watch you should do a little video on how to set those up.
You know what? I may do that. You know what? That actually, yeah. Because I think, I think there's a lot of people that could benefit from, especially gamers who have these kind of consoles. It's awesome throwing it in there because guess what? Now the console's completely quiet because the noise gets totally isolated. And it actually ends up staying cooler with the circulating air controlled, right? Because you can control the airflow in and out. And because of that, with just a little bit of effort, you can actually make the console perform better. And with a dust filter, you can help control the dust going in and out of the console, which anyone who's had a console run long enough knows. On the side of the PlayStation, you get those little like dust bunnies that build up into the side, and they're super annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Definitely, if you are looking at some kind of solution like this, check out AC Infinity on Amazon. The prices are worth it. The product's worth it. We are not sponsored by them. I think legally we have to say that. Otherwise, people might think we're just running ads.
Yeah.
So
we'll have the links into the video as well in our description, so you guys can check it out.
Yeah. So to kind of break away from more of like how you experience your entertainment stuff, because like you could talk all day about, okay, so it's a TV, it's a soundbar, and it's a bunch of furniture that holds all the stuff, and it's a game console. I want to talk about, like, I don't think a lot of people talk about this as much as they should. The actual like experience of, like, okay, when I got my 4K TV, what was the first thing I did? I got that Xbox One S, right? So I traded in a bunch of Xbox Ones. I got Xbox One S because I wanted the 4K Blu-ray player, and of course you have to get the 4K cables and the 4K movies and stuff like that.
Do you remember the movie you played first on that?
Mad Max.
No.
That was Mad Max. That was the first 4K movie.
You're talking about the one in the apartment.
Yeah, the one here. The curved one.
Yeah, no, back at the house. Back at your house.
I didn't have a 4K TV there. I never had a 4K TV though. The TV that was in the living room was the plasma TV that I ended up.
I thought you had a curve at the house because you played Gravity on and it was a 4K.
Never had.
Oh,
never.
that was that was 3D.
You're right, that was the 3D TV. That was
sorry.
Kyle's TV.
Yeah.
That was,
sorry,
yeah.
3D.
That was the TV Kyle's dad gave. Yeah, that was the 3D TV, and that one it was The Martian.
The Martian, yes.
That we watched in 3D, which unfortunately was a media that ended up dying. And I mean, so did curved TVs.
Unfortunately, who wants to wear glasses in their house?
Yeah, it's not the most appealing thing, and you got to charge the things, and it's just an uncomfortable experience. But what I can say is really good HDR, really good audio, and I'm finding this more and more that the audio experience has made a much bigger difference in my viewing experience. So I don't know for anybody who's ever experienced Atmos before. This is my first Atmos system here that I got. This changes everything. I mean, even Disney movies.
No, the best example, when we're playing NBA 2K, you feel like you're at the game.
Yeah.
Because of how the crowd and just every sound.
It sounds like you're literally inside the stadium.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then the way that Atmos works, because it shoots sound up and it can bounce it back down in your head like Aaron's watching a movie on Disney Plus. And those are all Atmos. So, the little CGI chick is, relative to where the camera is on the frame, whatever's looking at. It's looking at the dog. I think it was Bolt, that movie with the puppy.
Oh, okay.
The girl was like up above, and she was on a truck or something like that. So when she spoke, Aaron and I both looked up because it sounded like someone was talking from above the TV. It just does really cool stuff like that. It's just interesting. I think we've spent so long focusing on the visuals.
Are the original Star Wars Atmos on Disney Plus?
I don't think so. And even if they were to be converted to Atmos, it wouldn't be... Obviously, they were never recorded with Atmos in mind.
Yeah.
So that would have to be done like as a modern day process.
Probably in the new Star Wars, though.
I think the new Star Wars probably have some kind of Atmos. I could be wrong.
Because that'd be worth, even if you're not a fan of those new Star Wars movies, that just to hear it once to see that.
Oh yeah, all the blasters and stuff going over your head. Yeah, and you know what's going to be interesting with Sony and the PS4. I know we talk about this, so I don't want to get like, I want to. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But with that whole sound thing that Sony's doing, with the positional audio stuff, I can't wait to see what that does for Atmos. Because one of the things I really want to see the most, and I think scary movies don't take advantage of this. I think there's a lot of medium that don't take advantage of really good sound. It's the scary games, right?
Can you imagine PT on Atmos?
And you know what? I think we talked about this once before, and I'll talk about it again. But I gotta say,
did I say that before? I'm sorry.
You know what? Even if you did, who cares? Because for anyone who's listening, if you've never played PT. I talked about PT a lot in my PS4 review on the YouTube channel, the main channel, completing the circuit on YouTube. That game, the visuals are ridiculous. Obviously, it's horrifying. That game is horrifying. But when you add the sound to it, you throw headphones on, and now it sounds like someone's talking behind your shoulder. It sounds like someone's walking behind you. And so I'm super excited to see.
I mean, you freaked out when you did it a little bit in VR.
Oh yeah, that was horrible. I mean, it didn't do so. All the VR experience, it was just made the screen basically like 100,000 inches.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, but that chick was like 9 feet tall. From my perspective, yeah, no, that was awful. It's just like there's all these little nuanced things, and it seems like one of those subjects. When I talk about entertainment center stuff, it seems like it's super technical, and I think a lot of people just think, well, I just want the TV to work. Or I just want to do this. I just want to do that. But once you get into like the nuances and really like consume your content, like for example, as we talked about before, I'm a big audio guy. I have HomePods all over the place. Even though I have constant problems with frickin' Siri all the time. Apple, watch the clip. We put the clip up. Siri sucks. Fix it. It's ridiculous. Yes, I'm talking to all of you. There's 3 of them in here. But the sound quality is phenomenal. But I'm a big sound guy. And I think there are all these little things that people don't focus on when it comes to it's like once you're shown, once you see, for example, I talked to you a few weeks ago about those headphones I want to get, those Sennheiser ones, those HD 800s, and they're like $1,600, and there's the amplifier that you need, and it's like $2,100, and they don't even make it anymore, and da-da-da-da. But supposedly, from the reviews that I've seen, when you listen to music on it, it's like You're not just listening to music like you would with like some headphones, like, you know, just your AirPods or whatever. It's like you're really sitting down and listening to music. And I think when I have seen my entertainment system, my TV, soundbar, all that stuff really go off with a good movie, like whenever we watch Dark Knight.
Wow.
Right? Right? Oh, yeah. And you're just sitting there and you're just like in the movie. I don't know. That changed everything. Maybe I'm just being too nerdy. Maybe I'm just rambling on too much.
I'm only making this face and kind of not saying nothing because, yeah, that move when you watch Batman, you're just like, you're there.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Yeah,
I wish more people could experience that. Because like if you're gonna watch a movie, don't you want? I mean, I guess for some maybe you just want to watch it just to watch it. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I mean. The problem is the stuff's expensive, and I guess, yeah. I mean, with the dropping prices of everything as far as TVs go,
sound is not going to drop.
Yeah, I don't think sound will ever drop. It's one of those things that how do you subsidize? You know, it sounds good and it sounds good, or it doesn't sound good, it doesn't sound good, and the price is the price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sound bars have become a more inexpensive way to get more premium sound or have more sound equipment without needing to set up wires everywhere. Right? You can get wireless subwoofers, you can get wireless rear speakers, and you can add them on after. I mean, even other Samsung sound bars you can get. I think even the Vizio one. Do you have the little satellites, right? The little wireless satellites that sit behind your couch, right?
They're not wireless, but yeah.
Okay, so was that an add-on, or did that all come with?
That came with it.
Oh, it came with it.
Yeah. So, the only thing that didn't come with it was the stands.
Yeah, mine didn't come with stands either, which is super frustrating.
Yeah, when you're spending that kind of money, it should come with stands.
Well, at the very least, the wall mounts. Yeah. Like it didn't even come with wall mounts. Like, okay, you're just on your own. And especially when it's like your first set, and this is the thing that kind of drove me crazy. I mean, figuring out which stands I need, be it for a TV mount or whatever, is not outside of the realm of something I could figure out. But I have never owned rear speakers that required stands before. Mm-hmm. Right? Before, I've always mounted them on the wall because they usually have that little hook thing and you could just put a screw in the wall and mount it on there, right? These you can't do that with. And I have all this mounting hardware and I have no idea which one to get. Samsung apparently doesn't make a first party one for it. So I have to hope that the one that I buy, especially during these times, right? I can't really go to the store and do the whole exchange thing as easily as I could. You know, I hope that it works.
The way I found those stands was I just put in what those speakers were, and it popped up in Amazon what stand would work for it.
No. I mean, it wasn't hard to find. It wasn't hard to find I guess, like, you and I would think of that to do, but
the normal some people, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
they make it difficult.
Yeah, I mean, at least include, even if it's like a basic dinky one, or at least give a few model numbers.
Yeah,
in the instruction. And maybe they did. I didn't see them. But I think especially expanding on our smart home video that we did. I don't know. With the smart home stuff, I think we really beat in the point that it's really not as hard to install. You know, there's a lot of do it yourself, but I think when it comes to AV stuff,
that's a whole different story.
It's a whole nother league. And I mean, you could literally have everything right, and then you have one cable that's not correct.
I don't even mess with that stuff myself.
Yeah,
I really don't.
It's a beast, man. Especially with the HDMI and all this digital copyright protection stuff. It's a pain.
I would pay for someone to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to have it done right the first time and not have to deal with the headache.
Yeah, it's a monster. I mean, the only reason I know anything about it is because I used to take my dad's entertainment center apart all the time and try to figure out how it works. So, I mean, I tinker with the stuff myself, the stuff that I buy. But even so, sometimes it's just like, wait, what is this? And what does this do?
Yeah.
What is this setting? You know, there's all these like things that you just don't know. These manufacturers just say, okay, here you go. You're seeing it at Best Buy. Look at the thin bezels. Look at the bright colors. Look how sharp the picture is. 4K, Ultra HD, 8K, blah, blah. You get it home. And then 3 months later, you find out, wait, it can't do this. It doesn't do this. I don't know what this setting does. Oh, it does do this, but it can't do it this way. Apple needs to make a TV.
Yeah, I've been saying that.
Can you imagine the Apple TV software?
And then it'd be $20,000 starting.
You know, I would imagine if Apple were to make TVs, they'd probably start at like 3 sizes, right? 55, 65, and 75 inches. I would imagine they'd go there. Because I would say at 55, now you're talking like a modern day TV at a base level, at a base price, not base price, a base size.
With built-in Apple TV.
With the built-in Apple TV software, with more Apple TV software stuff built in, like Face ID, so it can recognize you. So let's say it sees.
It'll work better than the Kinect.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. It needs to work better. I mean, anything works better.
Can you imagine if it didn't? That'd be embarrassing.
Well, considering the problems they have with Siri. But you know what? Face ID works pretty well. So
yeah, I was about to say. You can't compare that to Siri.
Oh, God, no. Can you imagine, though, like how cool it would be if Apple started getting... Because you made up a point on the whole smart home thing when you talked about how Apple should get into security systems. Now, they make the HomePod. They have the Apple TV. I talked about how they need a HomePad because that would be an amazing thing to have when you think about it relative to Google Max. But having a TV, okay, yeah, you already know it's going to cost an arm and a leg. That 55-inch TV is going to cost. Let me think. That TV is going to cost.
You're going to have to sell your soul. You're going to have to take a second mortgage out.
Second, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
Do you have kids? No, not anymore with this TV.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to give those up. I would assume.
Here you go.
For the 55-inch, $3,000. And that's
okay. Well, then
incredibly expensive for a 55-inch TV.
I mean, yes.
Because you know the 75-inch would probably cost like $9,000.
What kind of screen do you think they'll use?
The panel that they would use? I mean, it'd probably be like max HDR spec. So
I mean, maybe a Samsung.
The actual part that they would use for the panel?
Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. No, like how do I want to word this? You know what? Forget it. I don't know how I'm gonna ask that. Don't worry.
Okay. So I would imagine. I don't know if they push 8K. That's the thing.
I do.
There's not a lot of 8K content, and you know what? Here's the thing.
It'll be 8K. It can run 4K, but it'll be 8K.
But they can sell it at an 8K price.
Exactly.
But they can make it. If it's a 4K TV, they can sell it at an 8K price.
Mm-hmm.
And I would much rather have the best 4K panel that I could possibly get than a good 8K panel.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The 8K panels are beautiful, but you have to get really, 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 really close before you can even get the benefit.
I mean, I'm colorblind. I won't be able to tell.
You'd be able to see the sharpness of the resolution, but I mean, fair point. But most people, I mean, even 4K, I think you don't really get the benefits of until you hit like 90 something inches. And then at 8K, it's something like, well beyond a 100-inch TV before you really get the benefit of 8K. So I would imagine.
And by that time, the 10K will be out.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the new HDMI standard 2.1 supports 10K. 120 frames per second, I believe.
Here's the thing. I don't want to go off topic too much, but here's a question for you. When do you think enough is enough with the K?
Until people stop buying into it. And I think 8K is not going to... I think 4K is it. I think they're trying to get 8K out there to see how the public responds, just like 3D TVs, curved TVs, all that stuff like that. TVs with cameras in them, all that stuff that they've tried over the years. I don't think the public's going to respond to them very well.
You know, it'd be cool if Apple does release a TV, you can do FaceTime on it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You'd be able to, right? Especially if they put a Face ID in it.
Yeah.
It can see, okay, Johnny, Timmy, and Ann are sitting in front of the TV. And they have their phone set to only show notifications or phone calls on the TV if it's just them.
Mm-hmm.
If the TV detects anyone else, then don't do it, right?
Yeah.
But I think that would be like super cool, especially if you're living, if you're living alone. You're sitting on the couch, phone call comes in, answer the call right there. Text message comes in, you can see the text right there. Get your notifications, everything like that. I mean, I guess the watch does that, but what if your watch is charging? I don't know. That sounds like ultra first world problems. Right? Like at the end of the day, that's like the biggest first world problem. But you would see, obviously, Apple would take it to a whole other level and integrate that into their ecosystem.
I wonder what kind of power cord it would use.
Considering, I think the first Mac.
That's the most stupidest thing I would ask.
Well, you know what? It's actually not, because knowing them, it probably used the exact same power cable that the Apple TV uses. Just because of the standards that Steve Jobs even had standards when it came to his power supplies. I don't know if you ever saw the Jobs movies, the Steve Jobs movies, but the first computer that he made, he wanted a power supply that did not have a fan. And at the time, that was impossible. That was not heard of. It had to be quiet. It had to run quiet. Power supply without a fan. So I can totally see if they made a TV, it using the exact same cable as your current Apple TV. As a matter of fact, that would be... No, I don't know what world I'm thinking of this Apple. No, as a matter of fact, it would not be. It'd be some proprietary cable that they don't include because they don't include chargers anymore. I don't know if you heard this, but Samsung is not including a charger in their Galaxy Note 20. No accessories, no nothing. I think you get the cable.
Samsung had an opportunity.
They did, but I knew it. I knew they were going to copy Apple. So you know what? Apple's going to make a TV. You're right. They'd make a TV, but this is what they're going to do. They're going to make a TV. Okay, now I'm going to get on a real rant here. Yeah. They're going to make a TV. They're going to sell you the HDMI ports separate.
You know,
they're going to sell you the frame separate.
We're getting off subject.
I don't care. I want to talk about this. You want to know why? Because this whole thing, when I saw that Samsung wasn't going to include the charger, I thought about the conversation that we had for episode 1. And you went on a huge tirade about the charger. And I agreed with you. Just include the charger.
Yeah.
And you were thinking, I don't think Samsung would do that. I don't think Samsung's going to follow suit.
I didn't.
And you know what? If Apple can get away with it, then Samsung's going to try to get away with it.
You would think if you, as a business, okay, Apple's not doing this, but if we do it, we're going to attract more people because now we're giving you this that Apple's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. It's just stupid.
It is.
I swear to God, if we get into this new age where everything's going to be separate, they can, you know what? Tech can kiss my ass.
You know what? I'm pretty much right there with you. And just thinking about, it's absurd.
It is.
That is crazy. Okay, fine. Apple, they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Samsung though? You're gonna make a sell TV without a remote?
At this point, since they're doing that, I wouldn't be surprised.
It doesn't make any sense.
Everything's turning into Nintendo.
Yeah. Seriously. Oh my God. Oh, I can't wait to get that Nintendo video out because there is.
How is that even fair to anybody? Honestly, that's a big slap in the face to all your consumers.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You know, and it's people buy it. DLC for games, like we've been talking about a few episodes ago. People buy it.
Obviously, something's happening though, because as we saw, a lot of those games between Xbox and PlayStation, they were all saying, a lot of them were saying everything's included in the game. There's no microtransactions, so something is happening.
There are people getting frustrated. What we will see. This is what I'm guessing from now. It depends on how many people buy the game.
Yeah.
If people buy into those games and they're very positive and there's a big return of investment on those games, then sure, I could see other companies following suit. I don't think it's going to happen. I think these guys are trying something that people have been asking for. But I think the whole online being the best, but paying for it, not working for it, kind of like Sam was saying.
Yeah.
That has become so imbued in the culture.
It sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It absolutely sucks. There's no skill.
Mm-mm.
It really isn't.
You can't play your NBA. You were talking about those points or whatever. NBA 2K online. You
can the my player thing.
Yeah.
I did that one time. I made my player up to overall 80. I bought something.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you buy what is it called? The V-Bucks or whatever they're called?
VC.
That's what it was.
Yes, I bought VC. I wanted you trying to work up your own, it takes so long.
And so it's like you can do it, but here's the incentive. If you want to play with these other guys,
exactly,
you got to build up your stuff. It's not fair. It's not right. I can see if they sold costumes, like special jerseys, shoes, like right. No, but only that.
Oh yeah,
you got to work your stats up the old-fashioned way. I am all for microtransactions, only if it's cosmetic. The game is the game, and it should be the game. And it's. How is it any different? And maybe this is a talking point for another time because I know we're running out of time. But how is gaming, which is becoming more sport-like, right? We have all these esport competitions and stuff. How is gaming, with all this pay to win stuff, any different from steroids in professional sports? in more traditional physical sports?
Because it doesn't affect anybody.
I mean, performance enhancers.
It's not really cheating.
It's stupid.
Yeah, I mean that's the answer. It's not really cheating. You have the opportunity to do everything that everyone else is doing.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I guess.
But going back to what you were saying about, if I'm telling you right now, if we get to that day and age where everything's separate, you buy a TV and then you have to buy this and you have to buy this and you have to buy that and you buy a laptop, you have to buy this, you have to buy that. Yeah, kiss my ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like, hey everyone, here's the new MacBook. You can buy it for $9.99. But it doesn't come with keyboard, doesn't come with speakers, doesn't come with a screen, doesn't come with RAM, doesn't come with processor, doesn't come with storage, doesn't come with a trackpad, but it comes with a charger.
Yeah. And it comes in with, it also comes with a case. Here's the case.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Yeah, you get the shell.
Yeah, the shell.
And you got to go get all the parts yourself. And guess what? You can't get them from anywhere but Apple, and they're always sold out.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it's going to work. And you know what?
At that point, I would start my own business and build people computers that come with things.
Right? You would think so. And I just hope... I don't know. You know, it's just interesting to think about, right? Because if Apple gets away with this no charger thing,
they're going to.
What else is that going to affect? The Apple TV already doesn't come with an HDMI cable. Mine didn't come with an HDMI cable. I have 3 of them. They don't come with neither of them came with. None of them came with an HDMI cable.
Yeah.
I think at one point they did. So they've just been slowly pulling stuff away.
But at the same time, you know what? Okay, even though that does make me. You know what? No, I'm not going to even say that because you still have to. You pay $160, $70 for the thing,
right?
And it's a little box,
right? And in order for you to be able to run 4K, you need an HDMI 2.0 cable, a high-speed cable. So not just
you buy it at Apple right there,
right? And so it's this continued cycle of them, little by little getting away with stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And if they were to make a TV.
I mean, they took away headphones.
They took away, yeah. Exactly. They don't include the headphones anymore.
No. Now they're taking away chargers.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
The phone. You just get a box.
With a case.
Yeah. I remember when I first got the first iPhone, you got a dock. Mm-hmm. You got the big charger, the 12 watt charger, 12 volt charger, whatever it was, the one that comes with the iPad. Well, it came with iPads for the longest time. You got a SIM removal tool, which I think you still get. You got a bunch of documentation. You got headphones. You got all this stuff. And slowly but surely, they've just been taking it away. And you know what? I would have been fine. Let Apple do that. But if the rest of the industry is going to follow, now I'm going to start to complain about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't want to see that.
But now this opens the door for companies like HTC. This opens the door for companies like LG to not follow suit.
I would hope so.
If they follow suit, I'm not saying their phones. I know a lot of people are like, well, their phones aren't like iPhones and Samsung. You're right. But what happens if they get to the point that, you know what? We have an opportunity to charge more for our phones now because we're going to also include all this stuff, number one. Mm-hmm. And now we have the opportunity to make our phones. We're going to charge more because our phones are going to be higher tier.
Oh, because theirs comes with the charger. Theirs would be in a higher tier, like a higher market.
Well, they'll do better on their phones, not like it is now. Mm. They'll actually make phones that are on the same tier.
Oh, I see. So they would make higher grade phones.
Exactly.
That'd be more expensive, but they'd also have chargers they can compete in that market.
This is their opportunity. This is their opportunity right here.
Yeah.
And if they follow suit, then they're just stupid. I mean, I thought Samsung was going to be smart and not do it, and I was wrong.
Yeah. And you know what? I should have known and doubled down on the fact that Samsung was going to copy, because in their most recent event with the Note 20, they have all this Samsung gear that's that copper color, which isn't really copper, it's more rose gold. So I'm very disappointed in the fact that it doesn't have that rusty copper look that I was so like hung up on episode 3. And they have this now Samsung ecosystem. But the thing that I've noticed, and this does fall back in the entertainment center stuff, right? Because I have Samsung TVs, I have the Note 10. They talk, but they don't talk in a way that Apple devices do. So Samsung like emulates. But
yeah, they copy Apple, but they can't get the same results.
Yeah, it's not the same, and that's the thing that scares me the most. If Apple gets away with it, Samsung will get away with it.
But here's another question for you.
Yeah. Now
that Samsung's going to copy Apple, does that mean iPhone sales are going to be, at this point, Apple will dominate the phone world again? Because what's the point now to go to Samsung besides liking Android phones? But at that point, you can just go to, if you wanted to, just go to get a cheaper Android phone that has the chargers with it. I really, at this point, it sounds like Samsung's going to shoot themselves in the foot. What do you think?
You know, yeah. Samsung is going way too far over the line and copying everything that Apple does while simultaneously making fun of them for it. Eventually, they are not the same company. Samsung does certain things better, and Apple does certain things better. And if Samsung doesn't continue to play to those strengths, it's not going to work out well for them. And if they continue to emulate these kind of decisions, because I can tell you this much right now, the thing about the Apple phones is the Apple phones are supported longer than pretty much any Android phone you can find.
Yeah.
Samsung just announced that the Note 20 will get 3 years guaranteed of software support. But I'm pretty sure like the iPhone 6S is still being supported by the most recent iOS. And the iPhone 6S came out in like 2015. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, look at our Macs.
Yeah, there's, you know what I'm saying? So like it's not the same. So in the case of Apple, okay, fine. Somebody buys a phone. So let's say they have a current iPhone. They're probably going to stick with iPhone, let's say. Let's just presume that people who buy iPhones stay with iPhones. They already have a charger. So any existing iPhones that get sold from here on out without the charger, they already have it. Apple can make the argument and say, well, fine, no e-waste, blah, blah, blah. Make it cheaper, whatever. But they can also say, well, yeah, but this person's phone is going to last way longer. So their need for a new charger is going to be, you know what I'm saying? It's going to come in for them to have to go out and buy a charger well before.
Let me ask you something. Are we thinking about this all wrong?
What do you mean?
iPhone, Samsung, they're going into the air charging.
Right, the wireless charging, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no port to plug it in.
Right.
So why would they include a charger? It just dawned on me now.
See, that was my thought initially, but apparently they're going to do some smart connector cable charger thing because a lot of cars don't have Qi chargers in them. So how do you eventually, yes, a phone will probably be a completely closed off system, crazy waterproofing, no ports. You know, the speakers will be under the screen, like completely sealed, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's probably where the future's going, just like everything's kind of going.
I mean, unless these phones, I know cars don't have them, but look what they're doing with the keys for these iPhones now. They're making it for, right now, the newest BMW. Mm-hmm. So the charging could be for the newest.
It'll come, but you can justify a charger well before you could justify you have to buy a new car. Because for those
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying buy a new car. Obviously, no. But I'm just saying, that these new cars that are coming out might have those kind of charging.
Yeah, they do. Right. They do. More and more frequently they do.
So basically Apple's saying, well, if you don't have this in your car, you're SOL.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know what? I don't know. We'll have to see. There is a line where I'd love to see change and stuff like that. And if it comes to really cool stuff, be it AV.
I mean, here's the worst case scenario, right? Mm-hmm. The people like me who have older vehicles. I have a 2013 Focus. You can buy a cheap on Amazon, one of those. You know, at my house I have that circle charger. What you had, those like yellow. It turns yellow, the color.
Yes.
It's USB. A lot of these cars have USB. Mm-hmm. Plug in the USB port and there you go. You can just put your phone on there.
Yeah.
I know I was just being like, yeah, you guys can kiss my ass. But the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, why would they include a charger if that's what they're going to do? I mean, the only thing I can think of is all right, then give us an air charger. But at the same time, okay, you're buying that phone. Now they're including a $70 charger, $80 charger for free. I mean, at the same time, yeah, you're paying a pretty penny. You should.
Yeah, but the nice part about the wireless chargers is they last way longer.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying if we're gonna talk about Apple give us chargers, that's what they would have to do. is give us one of those chargers.
The air power charger?
Yeah.
They're never going to do it. I wish they would. They're never going to do that. So people would buy it, but the thing of it is it'll last longer. So it might last you through 5 iPhones.
So at the same time, if we think about it more and more, as much as it does suck, it does make sense.
There's a part of it to me that makes sense, and I think we talked about that one in the first episode. But I think the part that irks me is when companies start to copy.
Correct. Absolutely. But
that's the part
Apple's always been that. Apple has always been the trendsetter, right? Samsung's always followed.
Yeah, but they would set trends in terms of innovation. This feels like they're setting trends in the sense of, hey, you're going to be all right. If that air power charger,
we are.
If that air power charger comes out, which is rumored to still come out, and it comes out at, let's say, $70.
It shouldn't be $70.
Oh, it'll be more than that.
No, what I'm saying is, since you guys are deciding to make us do this with the air power, how about $30?
Yeah, but even there,
I mean, well, let me ask you something. Why does it have to be more than why does it have to be $70? Why does it have to be more? What's so good about what is it in an air power that makes it where it has to be so expensive? What, because it has an Apple logo? Give me a break.
No, the thing that I think makes it more expensive, well, the Apple, you always pay the Apple tax on stuff, unfortunately, but like I have those little Apple Watch chargers, a little base. It's like like the leather, and then it has a little thing. Those are like $80 for those things. Now the Apple Watch doesn't use the standard Qi charger. It uses a proprietary one. So one of the things about the air power is that you should be able, they wanted it so you can place any Apple device anywhere on the thing and it'll charge. That includes the Apple Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Now the AirPods can wireless charge with Qi charging, and so can the iPhone.
With these chargers, I don't mean to cut you off. Let me ask you something. With these kind of chargers, couldn't someone use a wireless charger? Any kind of wireless charger?
Not with the Apple Watch.
No. I'm talking about the phones.
Yeah, you can use anyone. But in order to be able to have a single pad that you can drop any of your devices on, because of that one stipulation, and because Apple wants it so you can drop the device anywhere on the pad and get a charge.
Apple just wants to make more money.
Well, of course they do.
Let's not beat around the bush.
No, of course they do. They're a business. Of course they do.
Yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is it's more of it's not what's good for us, it's what's good for them. Yeah. And that's for any company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got, like I've been saying in other, and previous podcasts, what is it going to take for you guys to understand that you guys are treating us unfairly? Because is it going to take...
As soon as we stop buying their stuff.
But I'm
going to buy the iPhone. I know. You know you're going to buy the iPhone. I know.
But the problem, that's the issue.
Right. It's the same thing with cameras. It's the same thing I've been saying. But somehow they have found a way to make us buy the stuff.
Yeah, but it has to be a change. There has to be a change, and it has to be now. Because now what's happening... Look what's happening. Separate. Let's do this. Let's do this. How else can we screw over this customer? How else can we screw this person over? Oh, you need Apple Care? Yeah, that's $100.
Yeah.
For what? For me to wait at a Genius bar for someone to tell me what I already knew?
And you still have to pay if you crack your screen or if some damage happens. It's like...
but you only pay $50 instead of $350.
Oh, in the case of... If you crack the back on an 11 Pro Max...
Well, I haven't had that.
Or if you crack... on your phone, or if you crack the back, when I cracked the back of the 10s Max or Plus or whatever it was, they wanted $750.
Of course.
Now I had insurance on my phone at the time, so it only cost me $300, and that was my first claim ever because I had never cracked a phone up until that point.
What's the point of me having this Apple Care then?
Right.
What is it? Because if you told me, okay, tell you what, we can fix this for $50, but this usually would cost you $60. Okay, fine, I can see it now.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're saving me $300. Thank you.
Well, this was through AT&T. This was insurance through my carrier, not Apple Care. In the case of Apple Care, I think they wanted like $150 to fix. So it was like whatever it was. I don't know how much Apple Care costs. And you know what?
Apple Care, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Apple Care, don't do it. Unless the only thing I would recommend Apple Care for is your Mac. For your phones, don't.
I don't think so. Yeah, I would say for a Mac, especially if you get like a fully loaded one, absolutely, might as well. Why take the chance? Yeah. But you know what? This episode ended up going in a completely different direction.
We did. Sorry about that.
No, but you know what? I think it's a good thing. I think it introduced a concept that a lot of people aren't talking about, a lot of people aren't thinking about, which is, when does the taking away of things end? Yeah. At one point, it was the headphone jack. Sure, call it courage, call it whatever you want to call it. But then it was the headphones. Slowly after, here's AirPods. AirPods are great, but AirPods get lost. They burn out really quick because their batteries are small, and they're incredibly expensive. And there was never once where they were included with the iPhone. The iPhone 7 came out and they included just the one time. Okay, then there's a bunch of it floating out in the wild, but no. So now they took away the headphones. Fine, get AirPods. Now they're taking away the chargers. Now, obviously, you can't take away the phone itself, but it's going to get to a point where, just like with the Apple, the Pro Display XDR. Right?
They take away the box from you. They just throw you the phone.
Yeah, they just put it in an envelope and ship it to you.
Yeah,
and
it comes broken. You have to go to the Apple.
Yeah, exactly. It comes broken, and then they didn't even include a monitor stand with their $5,000 monitor.
That's ridiculous.
Not even a basic.
How much is that? How much is that stand, by the way?
$1,000 for the stand.
So you have to pay $5,000 for the computer, right?
For just the monitor, not even the computer.
For the monitor, sorry, and then you have to pay $1,000 for the stand.
If you want their stand, if you get their VESA mount, it's $199. If you want to do the mounting, like the floating thing, you can mount it on with an arm.
These guys know. What do you recommend? I mean,
based on the reviews,
based
on the reviews, the only reason to get the stand.
Which one though? The Apple one?
The Apple stand. Okay. So the VESA mount is like, it's kind of like the same thing you'd put on a TV. To mount it on a wall. It's just a universal mounting plate.
Sure.
That has 4 screws that you can put onto, like, kind of like these microphone arms here.
Yeah.
You could just mount the monitor on there, and you can move it around your desk or whatever, and it mounts on, it squeezes onto the edge of your desk. I would say, based on the reviews that I saw, the stand and its features, while it is high quality and it does perform very well, the only reason to get the stand is, one, you're trying to flex. I mean, I see these YouTubers.
Big flex.
Hey, if you can, go for it. 2, you realistically do not have any other option but to get a stand. I guess 3, technically, if you prefer a stand. I
would be scared.
I would say don't go with the stand.
I would be scared to do it on the wall, though.
You don't necessarily have to do it on the wall. The VESA mounts are very secure. VESA mounts can be very, 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 very secure. As a matter of fact, they might even be safer than your traditional monitor mount, your monitor stand, because the monitor stand can like fall over.
True.
But at least you could move that thing out of the way if you needed to work.
It would come out of the wall and
I mean, you can hold up hundreds of pounds worth of TV. But you know what? Like I said, this has become a very interesting episode. I never really thought that we would dive into this thing because it does matter. If these trends continue to happen, when are we going to be sold the TV without a remote? Mm-hmm. When are we going to be sold? The
we're not even sold with TV remote with batteries.
Exactly. Well, you know what? There we go. We need to Duracell sponsor us, and we won't complain. Otherwise, we're going to start a big tiff. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. As I said at the beginning, we've been getting more stuff on YouTube. Definitely be sure to check us out there. We are on Spotify. We are on iTunes. So whatever you're listening on, if you prefer the other one, you can find us there. And we have we're also breaking these things up into little clips and stuff on YouTube, so you can go and watch your favorite clips there. You can watch some of our other stuff if you want little small samples. We have the main channel, which hosts me talking about different tech topics in depth. I'm really hoping, now that I'm finally catching up on the podcast stuff, to get more content up there soon. So definitely follow us, find us on Twitter at Completing the C. Is that Completing the C? I'm so tired.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's at Completing the C. I don't even know our freaking Twitter handle.
If you do watch the Completing the clips and stuff, please leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you guys. We will definitely respond as we go, as quickly as we can. But please leave us comments. Tell us what you guys think. And if you guys have any ideas that you would like us to talk about, let us know.
Absolutely. Leave comments on this too. Like if there's a specific section, we usually cut the whole entire video up into different clips. You can leave comments on just the specific sections, and that way we know exactly what it is that you're talking about. So Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll talk to you next week. We have no idea what the subject's going to be, but I know Joey's going to do the news. And so that should be that should be exciting. Anyway, guys, talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.